And let's go ahead and run you through the starting order for the GR Cup. Starting off in pole position, it's going to be Drake Kemper in the number 99, Will Rogers to his outside. Back in row 2, Jesse Love Jr. with a very impressive run, and then Aiden Yoder, an even more impressive run, will line up in P4. P5, Justin Piscatell will line up the number 28 to the inside with Brent Cruz, the super sub, on the outside there of row 3. Row 4 is Spike Kohlbecker, one of the drivers to watch, and certainly the driver to watch from the first 2 rounds. Gresham Wagner lines up in P8. P9 will be Stephen Clements, and then Austin Dodge will round out your top 10, Kyle.
They certainly will. Excited to be here. There's row number 11, Lucas Weisenberg in the number 46, alongside Tommy McCarthy in the number 23. 13th place, Kanan O'Connell in the number 98, and Paul Bocuse in the number 71. Behind them in 15th place is Tyler Wettingell in the number 80, and Adam Eisman in the number 69. The Canadian rolls off on the outside of row 8. Mark Pombo, 17th, Kat Lauren, 18th in the 09. In 19th place is Mia Lovell in the number 68. Michael Garcia in the 7 as the rest of the grid rolls. We're getting ready to go racing. Round number 2 of the GR Cup, North America DJ from Circuit of the Americas.
Yes, indeed. Drake Kemper and Will Rogers up on the front side of the grid. They're going to pull their way on to the starting rows here, getting everybody in that perfect 2x2 order, working their way into the VP acceleration zone. All eyes on the flag stand as there goes the green, and we are racing here in Austin. Looks like a good getaway there for Drake Kemper. He's going to lead coming down into turn 1. A lot of movement there to be expected. Coming up big red, it looks like there the Will Rogers is going to hold the line there in P2. They're going to be single file, but everybody else, we've already got contact coming down into 1.
Piece of bodywork, a side skirt as they head through turn number 1. There's still 3 across halfway through the field, but getting single filed out now, DJ. It's so hard to go through the S's side by side, so you better get single file before you head to turn 4.
You certainly better as they try to work their way through. Looks like the top 10 or so is in single file order. A little bit of double wide there, a little bit farther back in the field, but they're going to be able to keep things together, leaning on each other as this field works their way through. Everybody trying to be able to see what they can do here farther back in the field. It certainly looks single file as they come down into turns 8 and 9 here at this point, working their way up the hill. Oh, we've got one car way off into the grass there. That appears to be one of the yellow machines, and they're going to hold it together. But look at this run up at the front. Aiden Yoder doing a fantastic job to move his way up through the field.
Doing a great job. A big send from a long ways back, a little bit deeper in the top 10, but they head in side by side into turn number 11. Kemper has the advantage, but Rogers is all over the back of him. Now onto the back straightaway. Slipstream is king here, DJ. Get in line and use that draft to get by the competitor ahead of you.
And this is exactly what we were talking about a little bit earlier. How is this draft going to play out? We haven't seen this full field of cars really working their way together. Looks like a little bit of side by side there. I think that's Jesse Love Jr. and Cruz side by side down the back straightaway here at this point. Heavy braking zone down into turn 12. Looks like the top 5 are able to sort themselves out. Back for about P7. It looks to be a little bit of a closer battle, as it does look like some big dives coming down there into 13.
Will Rogers keeping Kemper honest here, but here's a battle for position. That's the number 8, the JBL machine. Brent Cruz, he is sitting and he is filling in this weekend for Isabella Robusto, so he's doing a fantastic job, but here comes to the inside. That's the number 73 car, I believe, that's poking around the inside. That would be Aiden Yoder for the Precision Racing LA car, but now through the carousel, they're going to head down to turn 19.
They're going to head down into turn 19 here. Big gains on the first lap there for Jesse Love Jr. being able to put that car up into 3rd place. Everybody trying to find their spot in line. Yoder falling back down through the order. Now going to be facing some pressure here from Spike Kohlbecker, the number 55. That's one of the cars that we singled out as one of the cars to watch here at this point. Down into turn 20. Got to try to accelerate away here. They get onto the rumble strips here as they run. Gresham Wagner, look at that run. Already up 4 positions. We said to watch out for that car. He is certainly on the move here early.
Yeah, Wagner's one to watch, but so is Spike Kohlbecker. You pointed it out. He had 2 second places back at Sonoma. There's debris all over turn number 1. One of them was a side skirt, a really non-consequential piece of aerodynamic equipment. We should be fine here with that as we head now down through turn number 2 and into the S's. There's the 23 car of Tommy McCarthy. He's got the 76 of Stephen Clements right behind him here. Again, a single file area, but in the GR Cup cars, if you can get side by side, you've got enough space and you're going slow enough in this section that you might be able to pull it off, as some other parts and pieces pieces look like they go skittering across the surface there through the S's.
Yeah, they certainly do, as they try to be able to find their way through this area. So very tricky, a lot more difficult here in these GR86s as compared to other cars that we have, because the minimal amounts of downforce that these cars are running, and that is by design to really improve racing here as much as possible. As we watch right now, Will Rogers taking a little bit of a look, coming down into turn 11, now going to come back to the racing line, looking to try to carry some momentum there past Drake Kemper, but Kemper's going to be able to carry a good line there. Watch out for Gresham Wagner lurking in the background here as they go, starting to form a little bit of a breakaway. That top four of Kemper, Rogers, Love, and Wagner breaking away from Brent Cruz and Aiden Yoder.
Yeah, Brent Cruz looks like a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now. Very strong start, but now he's under pressure. He goes big time defensive on Aiden Yoder down towards turn number 12 as those front four, they would love to do nothing else other than race each other. Wagner took a look at Jesse Love Jr., who now looks for second on Will Rogers. He gets the pass done, almost clears him, and he will, leaving turn number 12.
Nice move there. Gresham Wagner now going to try to take advantage coming up through 13. Going to try to go the long way around. Not quite able to get that crossover move to play. As now it's going to be falling back into line here for Gresham Wagner. Or no, it's not. He's going to have a big look down to the inside there. Some more moves from Aiden Yoder in that number 73 as he tries to make his way around. As they're side by side coming out of the corner, headed into the carousel. Here we go. This is going to be side by side between Will Rogers and Gresham Wagner. As now Wagner's going to back out of it and try to set himself up for maybe a run into 19 or 20.
I'm not sure if the door mark on the number 6 was there or if it was Gresham Wagner that gave it to him, but that was absolutely hip and shoulder through turn 15. Kemper trying to keep the gap now on Jesse Love Jr., but it's going to be hard to break away as the 6, the 24, and the 5 are still line astern, pushing and shoving here. The 5 out on the rumble strips on corner exit, leaving the front straightaway.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of change here over that last lap, despite all the elbows out racing that we saw here at this point, but here comes a little bit of it. Will Rogers feeling the pressure from Gresham Wagner. That's going to be Rogers going defensive up big red. Can Gresham sweep around the outside here? That is possible to make work, and it's going to set you up well for turn 2, but I think Gresham's going to run out of road there. No, he's not. He's going to carry momentum down the hill. Brilliant stuff there from the number 5, as it's going to be side by side between himself and Will Rogers, and Gresham barely gets a nose ahead by the time they dive down into 2 and 3.
That was smart racing by Rogers there. Tuck in behind. See if you can follow Gresham up through into second or maybe even the lead. They could have run through there side by side, but that was a great smart call there. That did bring Brent Cruz back into the mix though, and those 2 packs are now one again as they head over to turn number 8, the uphill climbing right-hander.
Yeah, they're going to work their way up towards the corner. A little bit of dust kick up there. Not sure if that was from Jesse Love Jr. or Will Rogers. A little bit hard to see there at that point, but one of those cars up into the lead pack, kicking up a little bit of dirt. What all this battling has done, though, between Rogers, Love, and Wagner is it's allowed for Drake Kemper to have just a little bit of breathing room here at this point. Only about a car length and a half, but that sometimes can be the difference between having to look in your rearview mirror constantly and keeping focused on the road ahead.
I'm not sure how comfortable you can be anywhere on this racetrack, but with nobody out the windshield and everybody in the mirror, I think you're about as comfortable as you're going to get. Jesse Love Jr. is new to this number 24 car, was driven by William Sawalich at Sonoma, so Jesse Love Jr. has never been in this series as a driver yet in a race, so this is a new experience for him, but he's got tons of experience across a variety of racing, including stock car racing. Those cars are a lot heavier than these lightweight GR86s, but Jesse Love Jr. certainly knows how to get up towards the front.
Yeah, he certainly does. As we take a look here, working their way through. Gresham Wagner trying to make some moves here on Jesse Love Jr. as they work their way through the infield section. Big dive down to the inside going into turn 15. Is that going to play itself out for Gresham? My goodness gracious. That number 5 Tech Sport racing car is on the move, but Jesse Love says not so fast. He's going to look down to the inside of the carousel here as they go. Gresham's going to roll a little bit more speed around the outside, maybe tries to give a little bit of a pinch down to Jesse Love Jr. as they come down into the braking zone for turn 19. Wagner to the inside, Love Jr. to the outside. Move goes to Wagner.
Leading on Continental tires through the carousel. Gresham Wagner up to second place. Drake Kemper watching that gap grow larger and the cars growing smaller in the mirror. But now you've got a driver that drove through the entire field in race 2 at Sonoma, all the way from the back up to a podium. Now that he's in second and has 37 minutes to go, Kemper's lead, I would say that it's biding its time right now. I think there's the gap's going to come down just a little bit.
Yeah, I certainly think it is here at this point. Speaking of driving your way through the field, let's draw a little attention here. Tyler Gonzalez in 15th position, already up double digits, 12 spots. Remember, he started at the back of the grid here. Your 2-time winner from Sonoma. He is working his way forward. The number 28 machine there that you see on your screen, that's Justin Piscatell. I think there's a little bit of damage there to the right-hand side of the car. We may have found the victim of some of that debris loitering around in turn 1.
Yeah, we saw the side skirt at the exit of turn 1, but there's some other piece of debris on the entrance of turn 1. I haven't been able to figure out what it is, but there's still a lot of skipping around here. There's the number 98 of Kanan O'Connell for VGRT. He's got that 57 of Tyler Gonzalez, who continues to climb very, very quickly, and it's going to be hard to keep him behind, though, with that 57 winning both races at Sonoma, and a big pack of cars. The 28's in the middle of all that. That's Justin Piscatell. Oh, there's contact!
That was 3 wide coming down through turn 10, and it's still going to be 3 wide diving down into turn 11. Looks like McCarthy, Piscatell, and Pombo all trying to sort themselves out. Stephen Clements is just sitting up there in front, praying that nothing comes into the back of him here at this point. Going to be a very wide one for McCarthy, but he's going to be able to carry speed coming out of turn 11, and now we're going to be into a little bit of a drag race here coming down the back straightaway.
This is where you play your chess match. Where do you want to place your car to have a good run into the braking zone for turn number 12? You're leaning on that Bosch ABS system to keep the tires from locking up, and it's going to be a braking duel. Who's braver on the brakes? As for the lead, Wagner's gone around Kemper for the top spot, but Kemper's not done. Kicks the rear tires out as Jesse Love Jr.'s feeling pressure from Rogers for third.
As we've got that battle back in a little bit farther back, that's Pombo able to get the move done there on McCarthy, trying to close down on Clements. Tyler Gonzalez also looking like he's trying to make some moves a little bit farther back down. Hayden Yoder, though, going to be side by side with the number 8 there of Brett Cruz, and the 55 of Spike Kolbecker looking interested as well, as they're around the outside. Brett Cruz trying to carry momentum. He's going to be set up on the inside of the carousel as he tries to push a little bit wide there on Yoder. Yoder's going to fall back into line. I think that's probably a good call for Aiden.
Cross him over, try it somewhere else. We knew this race was going to look a lot different than Sonoma. This track is so much faster and has so many more flowing corners where you can carry speed. The low center of gravity, this GR86, this is the perfect racetrack for this car. So many changes of direction. These things are incredibly nimble, and they're putting it on display now as they head through turn number 20. Yoder now has Spike Kolbecker absolutely packed full in the mirror.
Yeah, he really and truly does. The good thing for them, though, is that as a result of that big battle that we saw behind Stephen Clements, looks like he's a little bit farther back, not necessarily going to be able to challenge here, so we're starting to see a little bit of a breakaway up at the front of the field. Is Gresham Wagner going to try to extend that gap? It's about a half a second right now over Drake Kemper, Jesse Love Jr., and Will Rogers, and a little bit of a couplet behind them, and then we've got that next run of cars. Oh, 3 wide coming up the hill.
Man, the 28 really likes to be in the middle of these 3 wide battles. That's Piscatell again. This is the second time in a lap that he's been in the middle. There's, I think, is that Kanan O'Connell that does the 46 of Weisenberg, I believe, sweeping into the S's now as they head on through, getting single filed again, but there's a little bit of bodywork damage to the right front of that number 28 car. He's been in the middle, and he's been the baseball in this baseball game here. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball, and that leather's stripping a little bit.
Yeah, really starting to strip away there at this point, as it looks like Piscatell is going to try to hold in, trying to make a move down to the inside there of Paul Bocu's going down through the corner. A little bit of front to rear contact potentially coming out of turn 10 or turn 9, now into turn 10. Piscatell looking to the inside here of turn 11, not going to be able to get that to play here at the moment. Is looking in behind Lucas Weisenberg, as you said, in that white, yellow, and orange machine. Not going to have the best run there out of turn 11. That's really going to scupper his chances, but I'll tell you what, Piscatell looking very, very good for a run.
Yeah, that livery on the 46, throwing it back to some other TRD racing royalty, the old Celicas that they used to race. That's what that livery has, including the number 98 on the side, incorporated in the livery. Wanted to touch on Gresham Wagner leading this race. Remember, he had that issue at Sonoma, the penalty that dropped him to the back. I said in qualifying today that you wouldn't get a lot of mulligans in this championship as we watch this other battle, but Tyler Gonzalez, with that qualifying problem, that could even this championship out if he can't get all the way back to the front.
Well, he's working on getting his way back to the front, and that's exactly what we focus on here at this point, making a big move down to the inside of Stephen Clements, going down into turn 15, and makes it work. My goodness gracious, Tyler Gonzalez not to be denied here today, but Clements is going to be taking a little bit of a look to the inside, a tap of the brakes there for Tyler Gonzalez as he tries to hold the car together, and I think that's McCarthy there in the number 23 trying to make things work around the outside. He's going to have to back off. Clements gets the position back. A very, very gutsy move for that pink and black machine.
And McCarthy in the 23 was trying to carry speed around the outside of turns 16, 17, 18. That triple apex right-hander didn't do the job for him here as he tucks in behind the 57 of Gonzalez, who looked a little slippy in the braking zone for turn number 20. Didn't quite have the grip he needed, but now relaunches that attack on Clemens as they climb up onto the front straightaway. Still 32 minutes to go, and this racing has been unbelievable.
Yeah, and it looks like here that Tyler Tyler Gonzalez does have a nose ahead coming up. Big Red, it's going to be a battle of the late breakers for him. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, credit where credit's due to Drake Kemper. He is not letting Gresham Wagner slip off into the distance here. And the same can be true for Will Rogers and Jesse Love Jr. Rogers actually taking a little bit of a look down to the inside there of 3 and 4, maybe just trying to see if he can force Jesse Love Jr. off the line a little bit. I don't think that was a full commitment move, but definitely just testing the waters.
Whoa, big slide by Gresham through turn number 7. He is absolutely pushing the limits of these Continental tires right now. You know, with this advantage he has, it's a half a second. You certainly can't rest on that, but he's still pushing. You can see it right now. The 24, Jesse Love Jr., still is ahead of Will Rogers, but not by much.
No, not by much. It really looked like Will Rogers carried some great speed there coming out of turn 9. He's going to look down to the inside here of turn 11. Rogers later on the binders. Oh, that's Stephen Clements, I believe, and that car is, the hood is up into the air. I have no idea what happened. There's another car off to the inside. I believe that's Tommy McCarthy.
It looks like the 23 of McCarthy, and I heard some more skidding, but there's definitely some major front-end damage. The splitter area of that pink car, the Clemens car, is definitely torn up. The hood flew up on the front of that number 76 machine, so there's definitely been some contact there at the top of the hill. That's a blind crest over turn number 9, but he's going to have a long way to get that car around, looking underneath the hood to get it back to pit lane.
Yeah, certainly is here at this point, and I would not be surprised if that car from McCarthy is unable to be moved if we see a full course yellow being thrown here at this point. And indeed, just like that, I've got to have a little bit of ESP because the safety car has been deployed. A full course yellow being issued here on track. We're going to take a look at that replay. Oh, looked like a little bit of a hop at the curb, some sideways action. And frankly there, Kyle, not that heavy of an impact in between those two cars. I think that car for Clements just hit at exactly the wrong angle.
Yeah, just got the hood latch, but there is the splitter is hanging off there, so he'll have to attend to that absolutely and get that hood latched back down. But really, it just looked like the 23 hit that apex curb. There's big, tall, yellow anti-cut curbs. They're made out of concrete, and they will launch the car skyward. And as he came over that crest, got 4 tires in the air, couldn't steer, ran into the side of the 76, triggered that incident. Wanted to point out the 28 car in all of that. Justin Piscatell, he's been in the middle of a bunch in the McCumbee McAleer racing car. The lights are out on the safety car, DJ. That means we go green. Quickly, before we get back to green, though, let's talk about the restart procedures here. The leader can begin accelerating, leaving turn number 20. That green flag will not necessarily fly at that moment. You cannot make a pass until the green flag waves. Once the green waves, make a pass anywhere you'd like.
Yeah, and that was very much stressed during the drivers' meeting over the course of this weekend, that you cannot make that pass until you see the green flag. So that's going to change things around here for these drivers. They're going to have to be thinking about that and timing, making that work for everyone. And as we've seen many a time, don't be surprised if we get a little bit of a fan out coming up Big Red here. This is going to be very interesting to see. Drivers work their way through the carousel here at this point. Gresham Wagner going to be in control of the field for Tech Sport in the number 5. Any predictions here on what we're going to see, Kyle?
Wagner's, the best thing he can do is go as soon as he possibly can, leaving turn number 20. Get a gap and get it quick, because Kemper, Rogers, Love Jr., Cruz, they're going to be ready to roll here. 23 minutes. We're just about halfway done with this race. We saw how much action they could pack in 20 minutes, DJ. Well, we got 23 more to decide the winner of this race.
All right, let's get back to green flag conditions here as they come down into turn 20. As Kyle said, Gresham Wagner, your leader, able to accelerate as soon as he gets out of that corner, and that's exactly what he's going to do. But you cannot make a pass here until we see that green flag in the air. Crossing over the timing and scoring loop, waiting for the green flag. There it is. Now you can make your moves. Looks like Drake Kemper's going to get a little bit of a run here. Same is true for Jesse Love Jr. Will Rogers going to go a little bit defensive as they come up the hill. Looks like a little bit farther back. I think that was Aiden Yoder trying to make a little bit of a move on Brett Cruz. Relatively single file. Big slide there for Drake Kemper coming down the hill.
Trying to put down all the power, leaving turn number 1 to make sure that Wagner doesn't drive away here on this restart. Now into the S's. It's all about slaloming your way through the curbings here and not cutting the course. You have to be right on the tailpipes of the number 5 up onto the backstretch to keep him in sight for a pass potentially at turn number 12. But they're single filed out now, first to about 12th spot.
Yeah, they're single filed out here at this point. Everybody's starting to go, and it looks like there's a little bit of a gap starting to form, maybe between Gonzalez and Mark Pombo. That could have been back to Kanan O'Connell. I wasn't exactly sure. Side by side further back down to the field between the 58 there of Amadeo Quiros Martin and the 67 of Joey De Silva as they try to work their way through the corner here at this point. That's going to be a little bit of close running. racing there coming up the hill. Oh, banging doors coming up and through. Oh, that was almost a repeat of what we saw bringing out the yellow flag.
And here comes Leviretsky in the number 27 trying to make a pass here in the McCumbee McAleer racing car. That's the solid orange colored machine. And right behind him into the braking zone, that is the 26th place car. Big lunge on the brakes into turn number 11 for, I think that's the 88 of Ruben Iglesias Jr. from VGRT, having a lunge but didn't get the job done. And now everyone fans out. It's playtime on the backstretch.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. That's Pombo all the way down to the inside, being forced down there by, I believe, Brent Cruz. And what a move for the 55. Excuse me, that's Kohlbecker able to make it. Cruz is going to be forced out wide. Kohlbecker able to get on through there. Tyler Gonzalez trying to make up a spot there in that orange and black machine. They're still going to be side by side despite being about 30 feet away from each other on the exit of turn 12. They find each other, almost rub doors as they come down now into 13 and 14. Oh, this is getting hairy.
Contact, elbows are out, and through comes the 57, and Tyler Gonzalez still trying to pick up spots while he can, edging closer and closer to the top 5. Man, everything's bigger in Texas, including the runoff area. They were using all of it there, leaving that 12th corner, but they were trying not to have contact. Just a couple of cars rubbing fenders here through turn 18.
Yeah, that's going to be Pombo there. It looks like an Aiden Yoder trying to do it. Tyler Gonzalez, like we said, able to make that move. He's going to set his eyes up on Brent Cruz up ahead of him. Somehow everybody gets themselves into relatively good order here. Kanan O'Connell now trying to make a move on his VGR teammate there of Mark Pombo. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 20. Everything getting moved back around here. Gonzalez able to gain 2 positions off of the drop of the green flag. I don't think it's done there at this point, as it's relatively single file here coming down the main straightaway. A couple of moves farther up in the field. Those 2 VGRT teammates still going at it. Jessica Piscatell getting involved there with Lucas Weisenberg as they come up the hill. And oh, big hip check.
Kanan O'Connell running a little wide there, or excuse me, that was the 46 car of Lucas Weisenberg following all of this in that TRD color car, the yellow, orange, and red stripes getting very, very close, and now stringing through the S's once again. Here's a look up into turn number 1, DJ.
Yeah, and this was just a big move down into the corner. You can see the car lose a little bit of grip there and just ka-thunk as that rear end stepped out a little bit. I wonder if that 71 just tried to put a little bit too much throttle there, and that caused that rear end to slide a little bit.
The 6 of Will Rogers all over the back of Jesse Love Jr. for 3rd place. They're watching the front 2 start to establish a gap. So Will Rogers, how patient will he be, DJ? Will he try to push that 24 forward or pass him and take care of it himself?
I've got to imagine here that your pole sitter is not going to want to wait around here, as he's going to take a little bit of a look coming down to the inside there. Trying to get a little bit of a crossover coming out of turn 11. That's not going to play out there nearly as well as he would like it to. Pretty strung out here for about the top 15. They're all going to be in single file order. Pretty big gap starting to develop a little bit farther back in the field from about 10th on down. As there you can see drivers streaking their way down to the main the back straightaway here at this point. Everyone trying to jockey for position. A little bit of side by side. That's going to be Aiden Yoder, I believe, and Spike Kohlbecker, as now Brent Cruz gets a little bit side by side there with Will Rogers, and that allows for Tyler Gonzalez to get up into the equation.
Yeah, Gonzalez is really the wild card here. If he can get back up into that top 4, top 3, it is going to be a tornado of energy at the front of the field with Wagner and the winner from both races at Sonoma. Up the inside of Cruz, takes a big lunge in turn 14, and Tyler Gonzalez is on a mission. He's through into 5th place.
Where did he come from? That was from 3 miles back for Tyler Gonzalez, able to send that move on the super sub of Brent Cruz. Absolutely brilliant stuff to be able to send that. It's going to be able to hold that line coming through the carousel. That was got a little bit of a gap to try to get up here to the cars in front of him and Will Rogers, but I gotta think that Gonzalez has got the speed.
That 57 may be an Austin, but he is messaging home to Houston because that car is a rocket ship from the back of the field up into 5th place. He is coming for a podium, and I think Jesse Love Jr., Drake Kemper, and Gresham Wagner, with 17.5 minutes to go, they got a lot of work to do to keep that 57 back there.
Yeah, they certainly do, and Will Rogers here, as we've seen him battling on the back of Jesse Love Jr. here for the majority of this race, I think he's going to want to try to get a move on because he knows the faster he is able to get by Jesse Love Jr., the faster, the more time he's going to have to deal with Tyler Gonzalez charging up through the field. The other driver here, Spike Kohlbecker, looking on the back of Brent Cruz, trying to be able to make a little bit of a move there. He's bringing Aiden Yoder along with him for Precision Racing LA. There, as you see the 73 sweeping down the hill and into 3.
Yeah, Kohlbecker's part of that the lead team as well. That's a Tech Sport racing car, the 5 and 55. So if that lead battle starts to kick up a little bit of energy, if the 55 could get in there, that's Wagner's rear gunner here. So that could really change the dynamic when they bunch back up together. I'm anticipating a battle up front with that 57 car. I don't think we're done anywhere near yet.
No, I don't think we are as well. Drivers really pushing there. Will Rogers in particular trying to make a move on Jesse Love Jr. here as they come down the hill out of turn 10. Not quite able to carry that speed that he would have really liked to here at this point as they dive onto the binders going down into turn 11. Looking at a little bit of a crossover and giving a little bit of a how you do there. A little bit of front to rear contact between Love Jr. and Rogers.
Yeah, just a little hello. I think that will definitely wake up Jesse Love Jr. if he didn't see that number 6, but he's been there the entire time. As they head down the back straightaway, still single file up front, but in the back they're still battling pretty fiercely. DJ, points on the line, long ways down the order, so you're going to be fighting for everything you can get.
Yeah, you certainly are. Also, we're seeing a warning being given out by race control to car number 8. Now that is Brent Cruz at turn 12, running a little bit too wide there. As here comes that batter, Tyler Gonzalez with a late move down into turn 13. How does he do it yet again? They're still leaning on each other coming through the corner. That's him and the number 6 there of Will Rogers. And Gonzalez has to give up the ghost there just a little bit, but my goodness.
We saw him rein it in there. He wanted to send it up 15. He took a look at it, but thought, hey, I've already got this far. Let's not throw it away at this stage in the race. There's still plenty of racing left to go. He's got the speed. He's got the pace. Now he just needs to get a couple more positions. Will Rogers, though, is next on the chopping block as they sweep through the carousel into turn 19. That number 57 Copeland Motorsports car is absolutely quick and on a mission. And again, still a long way to climb, but is Gresham Wagner driving away? 1.1 seconds. That's almost out of the range of that slipstream on the back straight, and without a mistake, Gresham Wagner could drive away.
He very well could, but we still got 15 minutes left to go in this race. Let's not count our chickens here at this point. Looking at a little bit of a fade, a little bit of a defensive move for Will Rogers coming down the main straightaway. Tyler Gonzalez not going to be deterred by it. He's going to run his traditional racing line coming down through Big Red. Looks like behind them it's also going to be a little bit single file. And look at what that traditional racing line allowed to have happen there for Tyler Gonzalez. Carries more speed coming down through turn 2, but I don't think he's going to be able to make anything of it here. He's just looking this way, looking that way. He's looking for any breaks in the armor here of Will Rogers, trying to find a way on by.
I love watching the pitch and roll of these GR86s. They are planted here. Drivers and teams have a selection of springs and damper adjustments they can make to get more comfortable. I talked to Aiden Yoder about it last night. There's not a lot of speed to be found necessarily. All the cars are so close, but driver comfort, absolutely. Big slide. Jesse Love Jr., his hands are busy in the cockpit. He's going to push the 6 out wide, and here comes the 57-3 across as the 6 is in the grass.
Oh, it's going to be 3 wide coming down through turn 10, and that is Tyler Gonzalez taking full advantage. Brent Cruz trying to do the same thing. They're going to be 3 wide with Love Jr. and Will Rogers coming down into turn 11. That is going to be Tyler Gonzalez out ahead and into the lead of that little battle, but still leaning on each other. There are Brent Cruz. It looks like there Rogers is able to get himself back ahead, but yeah, just a snap of oversteer there for Jesse Love Jr., and that's what precipitated that absolute craziness in the back half of the circuit.
So much of this Circuit of the Americas track is back and forth, left to right transitions. If you get one corner wrong, it's going to penalize you in the next one and the next one and the next one. Here comes a big sweep to the inside, out of control on the binders, past a group of cars here. That is the number 73, Aiden Yoder. He had that thing sideways, pointed to the right, and somehow got it woe down in the braking zone.
And talk about a bad couple of laps there for Jesse Love Jr. down through the order, and now the 55 of Spike Kohlbecker trying to fight with Brent Cruz here at the moment as they come down through 14 and 15, down through the corner. Cruz is going to be able to hold him out at bay for now. A little bit of a look from behind from that Precision Racing LA driver of Aiden Yoder, and now it's going to be Jesse Love Jr. maybe looking around the outside there of the carousel, not going to play anything out. They'll fall back into line here, setting up for the next move into 19.
Well, that was an exciting lap. We're not quite even done with it yet. Kemper chasing Wagner through 19, and we're going to have a new order this time around past the stripe. The number 8 took advantage down at turn number 11 with those cars 3 across. That was Brent Cruz, and of course that 57 of Tyler Gonzalez taking 2 for 1, sweeping to the inside as the 6 got pushed wide from that slip from Jesse Love Jr. across the stripe. 13 minutes to go. Wagner, Kemper, Gonzalez, Rogers, and Cruz, your top 5.
And by the way, as we've got a quick moment to breathe, want to let you know that the stewards have reviewed that incident between the 76 and the 23 and found that the 23, that is Tommy McCarthy, was wholly responsible for the incident, will be given a 3-place grid penalty at the next race they competed.
Yeah, and again, that was just an unfortunate incident, just taking a little bit too much of the inside curb, got airborne and got into the 76, and it was really self-penalizing too. He damaged his car more than he did the 76, but both walked away with a little bit of damage there. The number 8 sweeping through the S's, he's got his hands full because the 55 of Kohlbecker is in the mix as well.
And he's also been given an official warning by the race stewards here at this point for for track limits at everybody's favorite corner, turn 19. That's been the danger zone for track limits violations this entire weekend long. Got to be very, very careful about that. Even in these cars that don't have a lot of downforce, very easy to run wide there at that corner.
Yeah, you're just trying to carry so much speed, and that's what the GR86 is really good at, is carrying momentum. So anywhere you can get away with it, you're going to try to, but the stewards were pretty clear about where the track limits were going to be. That outer white line, you got to keep it in bounds. There's a couple exception corners where you can use all the racetrack to the inside of a corner. Turn 2 is one of those corners, turn 8 is one of those corners, and turn 19 is one of those corners. You don't even have to be touching the curb. As long as all 4 tires are on the pavement, that's fair game here in Toyota GR Cup North America.
Yeah, it certainly is. As they're coming down the back straightaway here, we saw a little bit of a look there from Aiden Yoder trying to be able to close in on the back of Spike Kohlbecker, but I don't think he's quite enough close. Meanwhile, Spike Kohlbecker gives a little bit of a how you doing there to Brent Cruz as they came down into turn 12. Now it's going to be Kohlbecker looking around the outside there of 13 and 14, not able to get the momentum line, not able to get the crossover. Is very well defended. There was Brent Cruz just planting that car at the apex, maybe even slowing it down a little bit there to just prevent any crossover.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, but again, that's causing that stack up there, the 24, the 73, and the 55, all fighting in his mirrors. As they continue to roll their way through the carousel, Wagner's advantage is 1.9 seconds. I'm keeping my eye on the lap times. Last time by, Kemper was about 8/10 slower than Wagner, so a big loss there. But Gresham Wagner was quicker than Kemper, so maybe not a chance, Gonzalez rather was quicker than Kemper. So maybe not a chance to run Wagner down, but certainly he could get to Kemper and beat P2, but there's still a lot of time left on the board.
There's still plenty of time left on the board here, but let us just talk about this. 27 positions for Tyler Gonzalez. I mean, we knew he had the speed based off of those first 2 races in Sonoma, but 27 spots here with still 10 minutes left to go in this race. That is remarkable from the number 57.
When you're battling for cash prizes and battling for a championship, there are days that you can have be bad, but you need to capitalize on the ones that you can salvage, and this is a salvage day for the 57 if he can stay up on the podium here. What an exceptional drive. And let me tell you, another car that has had a very busy day is that 28 of Justin Piscatell. He has been in the middle of everyone's fight and now has the 46 in his sights. That's Lucas Weisenberg. There's a battle here through the S's with 9.5 minutes remaining.
And we talked a little bit about the damage that we see on the right front there of Piscatell's car. It looks like Weisenberg's got a little bit of damage there on the side skirt there. I actually can't tell if that's maybe just a little bit of decal coming off or if that's part of the bodywork itself, but nevertheless, that's going to be what you see flapping around on the left-hand side of that number 46 machine as they climb up the hill here, coming through 8 and 9 right now. Looks like Piscatell's going to be a little bit farther behind, not really able to make a move here at this point, but still just setting up again. Even if you're not able to make that dive, trying to find the areas where you can make that dive, where you know your opponent's going to be a little bit weaker.
Yeah, these battles continue at the bottom end of the top 10, but I did want to point out that last time by the stripe, Tyler Gonzalez and Will Rogers were both faster than your leaders. So let's keep that in mind with 8.5 minutes to go as the clock continues to tick down. There's still a big gap that they have to eat into, but Tyler Gonzalez is looking quick, and he can see both drivers that he needs to beat right out the windshield, and he's closing in on Kemper. The goal here, get by this 99 as fast as you can. Don't delay, because that 5 car is going to try to get out of Dodge while you're dealing with him.
Yeah, certainly is. Only about 2-3 car lengths separating them. Still a good battle here with Brent Cruz, Spike Kohlbecker, Aiden Yoder, and Jesse Love Jr. This is going to be the battle right now for about 5th place as they all run a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 15, headed down to the carousel. And look at this, Gonzalez all over the back of Drake Kemper here. The move is on. Let's see what he decides to do. Not going to take a look down into turn 19. Probably a smart idea there. We've seen a couple of moves try to take place down into that area, and it doesn't always play out as well as you hope it will.
Again, the goal here for Gonzalez is just don't spend a lot of time behind Drake Kemper. You've caught him, you are faster than him, so the goal is just to get by him as quickly as possible. Set your sights on Gresham Wagner out front at 2:29.376. A really quick lap, but not faster than Gonzalez nor Will Rogers. 3rd and 4th right now, the fastest cars on the racetrack as they head up Big Red. And man, here comes a look on Kemper into turn 1. Gonzalez down the inside.
And that was the latest of the late breakers, able to just slide right in front of that 99. I didn't think he was going for it there at that point. He was just able to roll speed through the braking zone so incredibly there. Kemper having a little bit of a look back here down into turn 3, but smartly backs out of it. We've talked about how difficult it is to go too wide through those S's sections, and now he's going to fall back a little bit. And I'd be a little bit worried here if I were Drake Kemper, because Will Rogers is right there ready to pounce.
Absolutely. The other thing that Tyler Gonzalez has to be careful of is not cutting those S's, pushing the limits there just a little bit, but you have to. Winning these races, the cash prizes that are on the line, the points that are on the line, you have to use every advantage you can get. And now Kemper has got a mirror full of Will Rogers.
Yes, he does. Rogers gets a good run there coming out of turn 9. Going to move to the outside. That's going to be a defensive line taken by Kemper. Oh, big contact coming down into 11.
Knocked the mirror off the side of the 99, or at least a part of the mirror cover at least, but they're going to continue, and Kemper says no thanks. They're going to slot back in to 3rd and 4th. A little bit of door-to-door contact, hip and shoulder. Here's a look at it coming down into the braking zone.
And here he comes down into the corner. How do you make that out there, Kyle?
It's tough. The entry to 11 is so wide. It just looked like the 99 didn't turn in as early as the number 6 thought. So the 6 turned in expecting the 99 to follow him, and they just banged doors there, DJ. I wouldn't think too much about that other than 2 drivers not really coordinating the placement of their cars, but here comes the 6 down to 13 to the inside.
Nice move there by the number 6 of Will Rogers, taking advantage down into those corners and really able to make it play there. Rogers up into, that is going to be P3. Oh, but down into the inside there, going into 15. That is going to be Drake Kemper not being done with it quite yet. Contact there, and now they work their way into the carousel. That's still going to be Will Rogers ahead, but these two have their elbows fully out to the side of their bodies.
Message sent, message received between those two, and I think that will likely continue here. Wow, that 6 car is dancing on the edge of adhesion into 19, trying to put some distance between him and the 99. Back up onto the podium goes the number 6 car. 5 minutes and 24 seconds remain. Lap times here. I'm curious to see what we're looking at. That was a gain for Wagner, though, as Tyler Gonzalez slots into 2nd place. It's 2.9 seconds. That's a long way to make up in 5 minutes, but I will not say it's not possible. That 57 has come 29 positions. What's one more?
Absolutely remarkable stuff there from him. As we check back on this battle for the final podium position, Will Rogers and Drake Kemper trying to see who's going to be able to stand on that final step. Kemper taking a very wide line down into 2, just trying to roll that momentum as much as possible. Don't think he's going to get a chance to attack here into 3, and indeed he's not. He's going to have to stay in line behind Will Rogers. Maybe just see if he can kind of run a little bit counter here, see if he can force a little bit of an error there out of that number 6. Behind them, this is going to be another close couple of battles, side by side by side by side. We're Noah's Ark farther back in the field.
Is that the VGRT teammates again?
Yes,
they
it is.
Continue to run door to door. They have been very friendly with each other in this race, and there's the number 80 of Tyler Wettengel, the Nitro Motorsports car. Haven't really talked a lot about him yet today, but he's locked in this fight here for position for about 13th place as they head up over the crest at turn number 8 and 9. The 10 and the 98 absolutely going for it for 10th place.
Yeah, very much so. That's going to be Mark Pombo trying to close up to his teammate there, Kanan O'Connell, driving down to the braking zone for turn 11. Pombo going to hold it in line. Big move in the back there from Austin Dodge, going down to the inside there of Justin Piscatell, and I think he's going to be able to make that play. They're at least going to be side by side as they charge down the back straightaway.
Man, Austin Dodge's car, big a bunch of flames shot out the tailpipes, and you know what I always say about tailpipes shooting flames, DJ? Cars that shoot fire are better than cars that don't shoot fire.
Oh, I was going to say, it looks pretty. That's what you want to see. It's a little bit farther up in the field here at this point. We've also got a good battle here. This is Jesse Love Jr. and Aiden Yoder going at it, going down into turn 13 here at this point. Jesse Love Jr. had a little bit of a yo-yo race here, up and down. We were talking about him early. He's falling back down through the order. I think a top 10 is still going to be something good here for Jesse, but wants to try to maximize.
And a lot of that just came back from that one slip he had at turn 8. That's all it takes, and everyone will freight train right by you if they sense any weakness. And it was just that one slip for Jesse Love Jr., and he's been busy fending off drivers behind since then. 3 minutes to go as they sweep through turn 19. Wagner leads by just about 3 seconds. This should be about 2 laps to go when they come by the stripe.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking here. We're going to get the 2 lap to go mark, and it doesn't really look like here at this point Tyler Gonzalez is able to close out of the back of Gresham Wagner. Let's check back back here at the Austin Dodge. Now getting a move sent down to the inside of Tyler Wettengel on him, and that is going to be, I believe, Cat Lauren there in the 09 machine, the Precision Racing LA car. Now that's down to the infield section. That car is turned around in stationary, prone across the track.
I really hope she can get that car fired back up. That is the 09 of Cat Lauren, as you mentioned here, DJ, and hopefully this won't draw a full course yellow if she can get the car fired back up, because Gonzalez would really like the opportunity to try to run Wagner on down, but they've got about a half a lap left to give her the opportunity to fire that GRD6 up and drive away.
Yes, they do, as we focus back in on that leading pack here. Starting to see some spreading out a little bit, although Tyler Gonzalez looked very, very squirrely coming down through the corners there. I wonder if he's maybe running those Continental tires a little bit ragged here at this point of that charge through the field.
Yeah, I think they're probably a little worn out, and you can't blame him because he has been absolutely driving the wheels off that thing, but it's dragged Will Rogers back in, and perhaps if there was a full course yellow, that would be Gonzalez's savior. He could fall off the second step of the podium here in the final moments of this race. Rogers is coming, and coming quick.
Yeah, coming very, very quick here at this point. More flames coming out the back there of Will Rogers' car. Always good to see. As you said not too long ago, Kyle, as now they work their way onto the back straightaway. We haven't seen any indication from the flag stands or from race control of a yellow flag, so at this point, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Cat Lauren has been able to get that car refired and re-going here. Nope, never mind. I spoke too soon. I knew that was going to happen. I absolutely knew that I was going to jinx it like that, as the safety car has been deployed, and we will undoubtedly be getting the white and yellow flag this time by.
Yeah, that's a real shame. And again, Cat Lauren, to end up like that in that corner, you almost certainly have had contact or gotten turned around.
But enough about that, because we come down out of turn 19, heading into turn 20. Gresham Wagner, after what has to be called a little bit of a rough run there in Sonoma, is going to come across the line as the checkered flag flies and take victory for Tech Sport Racing. Tyler Gonzalez for Copeland Motorsports behind him, and Will Rogers and Godwin Motorsports round out your podium positions.
Yeah, well done driving by Gresham Wagner, because had he made any mistakes at any point in that race once he got to the lead, he would not have had the gap on Tyler Gonzalez that he had. Drake Kemper didn't really hold up for the 57 for very long either, so it really was just Gresham running very quick, smooth laps. The 57, again, that climb from 30th to 2nd, unbelievable.